What's up, guys? I'm SaltEMike, and this is your Star Citizen Week in Review for November 23rd, 2020. This is your first week in review. This is where I take all of the official news from Star Citizen, bundle it up into one video on Monday, and insert some of my opinions in there. I didn't get everything done I wanted to get this week. I'm actually running really short on time. So we're going to jump right into the video and start out with this week's patch notes. We had 3 patches, 2 PTUs with 3.11.1G and 3.11.1H. Starting out with G, they basically tried to fix an issue where people were randomly spawning at Lorville all the time, even though they didn't log out there. Because people were really trying to see the expo, so they put the default spawn in New Babbage now, so people who are looking for the expo, when this issue arises, they'll be at the expo at the very least. They're also trying to fix this rock exploit that me and Space Cutlet actually found, where you can endlessly sell things like the gems from it. So yeah, they're attempting a fix. I don't know if this is really going to do it, but we'll see. We're trying to help them as much as we can fix that as well. The Mercury Star Runner scanning dish has interaction now, so it goes up and down. 3.11.1H was what eventually turned into the live build. It was just crash fixes, no additional updates to it. And 3.11.1 Live basically means that the expo is officially live, it's at New Babbage, and the Mercury Star Runner is now out of the PTU for testing. We also see, for the first time, the Consolidated Outland and Nomad, and we'll touch on that a lot more later. Moving on to roadmap updates. For roadmap Roundup, all of the updates on this one can fit into one slide this week, which is kind of nice. Yella's not getting any art improvements in 3.12 and will likely receive them in 3.13. These are to do with like more painting techniques that they figured out. So just Yella won't get those updates. I think Daymar still will, as well as some of the Microtech moons. I can't remember what we talked about last week, but it is still a significant amount of updates. I think it's Microtech, Hurston, and I think it might have been Daymar as well. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. They added the Nomad to the roadmap as well, which is now in polishing/complete. The mining UI refactor is now in polishing. Personally, I can't wait to take out the Prospector and Mulligan. You know, this with refining is going to be a really nice patch for miners. But I will say this, and I have been for a while, as someone who loves mining, all the updates are cool. But I feel bad for the people that have other interests in the game, so I hope those things do start to get more love in the future. I think salvage is the one that always sticks up, but we all know the significant amount of blockers to get salvaging in a good place. So hopefully these UI updates will just be additional help for future gameplay, like salvaging, in terms of layouts and things like that, and it will just improve it in the long run. In terms of the Reddit roadmap, a lot of red on the list today. This is from Odysseus Ithaca, of course, so always try to give out a shout out to him. He puts these up on Reddit every week. Reputation, Tractor Beam Attachment, and the Talon all lost between 2 and 5% of progress, but they're all over 50% complete, so I don't think, you know, anything is really in trouble of falling off as of right now. The dreaded elevator panels, though, they lost 12%, but they're still kind of a far way along as well, so hopefully those do progress so we don't have to talk about them anymore. Things that are progressing are the aforementioned mining UI. It gained 11% and is now complete. The station-based refining is also 99% complete now, and the FS9 LMG that I couldn't figure out was the sneak peek from last week, good catch guys, gained 7% and is now 2/3 complete. There's also the new roadmap update from Xylo, so they're expecting to have it before the holiday break, and hopefully they're still on track for that. In terms of video updates, this is where I really missed the ball this week. There was an ISC and an SCL. I really don't dive into SCL as much as I would have liked to, and I apologize for that. But on ISC, the Nomad featurette is what they started with, and they start right away with explaining where the ship falls amongst the growing lineup in the Star Citizen's ship universe.
2 of our most popular ships are the Avenger and the Cutlass.
Let's say you're ready to upgrade it, but you're not quite ready for that Cutlass life yet. You still need the cargo, you still need the armaments, but you don't want to look like anybody else while you're doing it. that's where the Nomad comes in.
Okay, so this basically falls between the Titan and the Cutlass, and I think that makes a lot of sense to fill out this part of the lineup, as it feels like it's like the early mid-game ships where we'll likely be spending a lot of time playing and grinding and experiencing the game. When they start to move into more detail on the ship, that's when I start to get confused.
The Nomad is an upgraded starter ship. It has a lot of versatility. It can hold its own in combat, and it holds a decent amount of cargo units. Nomad is a solid cargo runner at 24 SCU. You can make pretty decent chunk of change doing cargo runs, and you don't feel like you're wasting your time. It's also a very capable fighter. It's not going to beat a dedicated fighter in a fight, but it can definitely hold its own.
What is an upgraded starter ship? They even said premium starter ship somewhere in some literature. 24 SCU is not really making you that much for like cargo in the current game, and in combat I would agree. In testing this, it seems fairly capable, but it's not great. But what I'm hearing out of this is they're trying to move the starting line for players, which essentially makes the cost of Star Citizen $70 plus and not $45. And I don't think that's good. I think the Mustang, the Aurora, the the Reliant, and even the C8, the 100i, all these essentially are losing value when you call this a starter ship and sell it with a game package. Again, I just think that's a little bit of a slippery slope, and I think the only saving grace here is for these starter ships and the $45-ish packages are reputation and the fact that these ships can hopefully more easily move themselves into this early mid-game range of Cutlass, Avenger Titan, and now Nomad section here. But right now, the game just doesn't do that. Next, they do an overview of the ship from an art standpoint, and this is, it has no real traditional landing gear. It hovers, which is really cool. The interior, though, is essentially an old Mustang Beta, and I think that's pretty cool, but F's in the comments below for the OG Mustang Beta, because the new one is kind of trash. A lot of people say it looks like the Asp Explorer as well from Elite Dangerous, and they're not wrong. It does look very similar. Lastly, the cockpit I absolutely love from this thing. I love the displays and all that. I think the overall view that it provides as well is really great. Next, they moved on to the IAE Convention Center art featurette, and most of the art-centric content isn't really what we would do on this type of video because there's not much to discuss there, but I found this clip to be incredibly interesting.
Something else we've done, and we've actually kind of done it every year or every event, is we kind of swap the artists who work on it out. It enables us to keep it fresh. Obviously I've been the lead on all of them as well, so there is some consistency there. I think it would become kind of stale, if it was the same group every time. We do kind of learn what we've done in the past, learn what worked, or learn what didn't work, and try and improve every time.
I just love that they thought to swap people out. I think it's really cool to make sure that everything is always different and fresh and fun and new. Really smart idea. Props to them. Great job. Again, I did not have enough time to run down a lot of SCL, but I did clip out this one particular clip, and I think it's really important to highlight, in terms of AI, this was the theme of SCL this week. AI is progressing, but it's hard to tell, and the reason why they kind of touch on here, which I think is pretty obvious, but it's important to share with you guys.
We're seeing a lot of difference technically when you're looking at the state of it when you play it in single player versus when you play it multiplayer. We're definitely seeing a lot of issues that come from desyncs and from sometimes server performance or stability.
How does the work on the new the planetary nav mesh play into any of this?
I think definitely like that one is gonna be like a critical part to have, like, encounter on the surfaces, right? So I think right now I started some work on verifying, like, how much we can generate, and the navigation mesh can, right now basically can generate on the planetary surface. We can properly handle, like, the basically the planet mesh on that side. Basically, what is the plan? The plan is to use the navigation mesh, basically the features that we have, but expand it in a way which can work more efficiently on the planet, right? So planets are, in essence, created by those patches, right, that lives around the players. And basically, we would probably use an approach very similar for nav mesh. So there would be like this kind of dynamic nav mesh, what I call a virtual nav mesh, that is going to be applied to planets. And basically, the patch of this nav mesh will only exist where we want to have AI. So it's going to be much more efficient than having, like, the full generation.
How much of the AI that we see is affected by general server performance?
Look at the bartender right now. Let's take one social example, right? What sometimes happens is that is reacting to you a bit slowly, right? And that happens because, like, the performance of the server, when it goes too much down, like, it takes a bit of time for him to find, for example, where you are sitting and how to navigate to you, especially if there are, like, lots of, we have, I think, the worst case scenario, something like 2,000 characters or 1,500 characters active at the same time, right? And on one server, and that is, quite a lot for, like, basically what we do is, like, to not go too much heavy on the server. We of course distribute calculation over time, but that means that if you have so much, so many requests at the same time, it just takes more time to receive the results. So of course that one is going to be, for that, beneficial, like the server mesh.
Server issues have been the theme of Star Citizen for years now, but the highlight on how they're kind of some planet mesh stuff could help later in the video as well is really kind of important thing that they highlighted on. So I think this gives promise for the future. This video really did that for me. So if you do have time, I wish I had more time to spend on this video for you guys, but if you do have time, an hour to watch, I think it might change your perspective, on Star Citizen in its current state and what it could be if they get this stuff done. Server meshing, some of this planet mesh stuff that they talked about this time. I think it's it helps give me more confidence that this game is actually going to be a lot of fun. The AI is going to be fun to interact with and against, so hopefully it works out, and I'm looking forward to it. For other updates, we're going to start out with the 3.11 Postmortem, and this is where I might be a little bit on the salty side, but hear me out. I think I have some, like, logic here. Most of the posts from the directors are just patting themselves on the back, and for their team, right? It's like, hey guys, we did a good job, we did this, we did that, check it out. But that's not the point of a post like this. A postmortem is a discussion of where the failures were, and for each quarter, obviously, because these come out each quarter, and how the team or their specific teams will address these issues and do better in the future. And the only one that really did this out of the entire post was Richard Tyre. He was open and honest about his mistakes and how he plans to fix them for specific things and how he plans to resolve them overall in the future. He talked about how he would do force reactions differently. He also explained how body dragging and knockdowns they really didn't make an impact on the game, and it was because of his lack of communication with the teams that happened to work on that stuff. And he plans to be better about that in the future. And I think that part hit home for me is the last part, or the part that hit home for me was the last part, was that he hoped that this post would highlight how hard they're working. And they're not always going to hit a home run. And these help me understand, like, game development more than the last 6 years of covering this game. And I think we need more stuff like this. And I think the developers need to be more open and honest about their failures and how they plan to resolve them. Because if anything I've learned about game development is it's a lot of trial and error, and there is a lot of failures. So why are we so afraid to talk about them? Right? Moving on, the Galactapedia update. There was a ton of articles in here. Just a little, like, sneak peek for jump points. Check out shipping checkpoints when you guys have time, and check out this post. It's pretty cool. The link is in the description. The Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. This is, what the thumbnail was about and everything. It's the big sale that we have every year now. Starting out with day one, they had Consolidated Outland, Argo, and Greycat. The main feature here was obviously the Nomad. It's a $70 war bond or $80 with store credit ship, and they did a few things since the owner of Consolidated Outland is essentially Elon Musk in the Star Citizen universe. So this was meant to be like the Tesla truck. Basically, like, the design of this ship is like straight up a meme. It's either the Asp Explorer or it's the weird Tesla truck that everyone was kind of looking at like, what the heck? The video was also, very Nomad centric. It was entirely Nomad centric, highlighting that same Tesla truck mishap with the glass in this video. They also are selling the Argo SRV, which is on sale. I think we saw it last year in concept, which is a tugboat type of ship. So if a ship is ever disabled that you own or is your friend's, you can kind of pull them to safety and maybe get them repaired at some point. They also had some special ship skins for the Nomad, which look really cool. Kind of makes the ship look like a crab. Aegis 2, or Day 2, it was Aegis. No new ship sales in terms of like brand new ships like the Nomad, but there were some previous limited ships that went on sale. The Nautilus, which was $750 and is a mine layer, and the Vulcan, which is $200 and is a repair, refuel, rearm ship. So that's pretty cool. I kind of want to maybe melt something and get the Vulcan, because I think that fits more in line with some of the other ships that I own, the more combat-related stuff. I feel like earning combat ships in game is more enjoyable for me now than anything, and having the Vulcan in my hangar might be quite useful for like video content for you guys. This day's video was a bit more of a goofy one though, where Jack McCleary was guessing ships based off of their engine sounds. They also unveiled some Saber ship skins that look sick. The blue and black is legit like my colors, my org colors, and I hope more ships get these colors here. Day 3 was Anvil. Again, no new ships available for sale, but the repair platform, which is the Crucible, and it was limited for, I think it was like 2 years old now, is $350 and is for sale as well. The video was about the F8, and the F8's always cool to see. It's a cool ship, but obviously it will not be something that will be flying in the verse anytime soon. They only put those new skins, the same ones that we saw for the Saber, on the Hurricane and not on other ships. I was also kind of disappointed about this from Aegis as well, and I hope we get a more advanced layout. Like, I hope we're able to put these on more ships, basically, because these are probably the best skins I've seen them put out yet. Day 4 is today, so as of the recording of this video, I'm about an hour late on it, or an hour early before it's going to be unveiled. So Crusader Day, unfortunately, I won't catch, but if you have the link for IAE in the description, you'll be able to at least follow along. The sneak peek this week is a sneak peek at what will likely be RSI Day, and appears to be showing a new ship from AI. It looks big. It looks military. What do you guys think it will be? Again, I don't follow leaks at all, so if it's out there already, I don't know about it. So I'd rather you not tell me what its name is. I don't know. Just do whatever. It's going to be hard to avoid on that one, but yeah. It looks military. Part of me is tired of military ships, and part of me is getting more excited about them the more interested I've become in ship combat again. So we'll see. Screenshot contest, and we'll end on this one for IAE, is every day there's a new screenshot contest, which is pretty cool, and they have a list of all the different ships that you can do the screenshots with each day. I think that's a kind of a neat way of doing things, and they're doing giveaways for people who win the screenshot contest. So if you guys are interested in that, feel free to take part. But that will do it with this week's Week in Review. Yeah, I am continuing to try and work on my workflow for these videos. I'm trying to get a third video out each week for you guys. I was not really proud of the one that I was working on. It was supposed to be a Constellation versus Mercury Star Runner thing, and I didn't really like the way it was coming out. And I kind of feel the same way about this, but I'm going to keep working hard on it, guys. I'm going to keep trying to put out YouTube content for you and be as good as possible here on this platform, especially considering how rough Twitch has become over the last, year, 6 months to a year. So I'm trying to really put my focus into you guys here on YouTube. And I'm going to continue to do better, and I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of content I can muster up over the next few months here. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you have not yet to this channel. A lot of people don't. A lot of people just watch the videos and aren't subscribed, so make sure you hit that button, and I will see you guys next week.